I'm thankful for TNA Impact Wrestling. I didn't watch the show tonight because, it's Thanksgiving, but I just went real quick to their YouTube channel and watched parts of the show. One thing I was extremely thankful for tonight, the lingerie match that they had. That's right, you had Karen and Jarrett basically saying, you know what, you're all whores, and therefore you all should behave like whores and wrestle in your underwear, even though that's technically what every diva and knockout already does. But then she goes on to say what the internet's been saying is that you all suck. Gail Kim is the only person in the entire women's wrestling world that can actually wrestle. Now, I have absolutely no problem with this decision. I mean, just because they're wearing less clothes than what they usually wear doesn't mean they're going to wrestle any worse than what they usually do. People can argue that, oh, this is exactly what's killing women's wrestling and stuff. No, this is actually what got Sable and Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler and Sunny over back in the day. I mean, women wrestle half naked all the time. Just throwing the word lingerie out there is just used to help boost up the ratings for the male demographic a little bit, which is a good idea. Now, I do think it was kind of stupid for people like Velvet and Brooke and Angelina to overreact as if this was such a terrible thing and so demeaning, even though their gimmicks were basically sluts, let's face it. But I mean, how else would you expect them to react? I mean, if they were happy about it, that would kind of demean the whole purpose of Karen Jarrett doing it to piss them off. Now, the rivalry for the Knockouts title did kind of take somewhat of a backseat for tonight, but I mean, that's just for one night. Since Gail Kim has debuted, the whole Knockouts division has revolved around her, and people are already starting to complain about this, and it's like, you weren't complaining when Velvet Sky was the Knockout champion not being featured more. I mean, what's one show where the Knockouts division doesn't revolve completely around Gail Kim? And Morgan and Crimson beat Mexican America in their rematch. And here's just what I found out. TNA doesn't even have any other heel tag teams that can fight Crimson and Morgan. So what are they going to do? They could bring back British Invasion and turn them face. That's probably why they kept them off TV for so long. That way they can just bring them back as heels for no reason and won't even have to explain it. Just like they did last time. And in traditional TNA fashion, they put the rivalry with the bigger superstar ahead of the rivalry with the world champion. They have James Storm and Kurt Angle, which I guess is a good thing for James Storm. Just being in this rivalry gives him more attention and more of a spotlight because we had a 4-on-4 Survivor Series style match. Team James Storm versus Team Kurt Angle. It wasn't Team Bobby Roode versus Team AJ Styles, even though those are the two guys that are competing for the World Heavyweight Championship at the next pay-per-view. But though I guess it was good for AJ Styles to get the pin and for Bobby Roode to come out and stand tall at the end of the show. So can't really complain about this. Gives them all some kind of attention, at least as long as it's a little bit more balanced the next couple of episodes before the pay-per-view. It's fine. So that was TNA for Thanksgiving. Overall, just based off the YouTube videos, it doesn't even look like it was that long of an episode. I mean, it looked like there were just 4 things that they were focusing the show on, and those were the only 4 things that got any TV time. The Knockouts, the Eric Young thing, the main event, and the tag team. I mean, there wasn't even an X Division segment for tonight. So, besides the lingerie thing, pretty uneventful episode of Impact it looks like. Maybe next week we'll have more action and more stuff to talk about. Anyway, this has been MTO. We'll see MTO more reviews. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. The end.